Megan Rath. Uh, she really is incredible. She's also just off camera, so I kind of am
With a
getting
knife.
with a knife pointed at me. What I loved about this script was, well, a lot of things, but it was surprising, and I didn't know exactly where it was going. It was misleading in some ways. It was darkly comedic. You mentioned black comedy. That's sort of my favorite kind of comedy. The darker the better. And I'm a massive Coen Brothers fan, and so when I first read this script, it felt like it lived in that world of sort of Coen Brothers comedy, where you find yourself laughing in moments that are can be rather disturbing, either in spite of that or because of how disturbing it is. And I felt like this had some of those moments, but also just tonally, it felt like it was going to be a real challenge. I was right; it was a challenge, but finding that tone, because there's a version of this movie that's much broader. I always felt like what the version I wanted to do was, much more grounded and a little just yeah. A little more misleading and I don't know, dangerous, I guess. Megan Rath, who's my brilliant co-star in the movie, plays Susie. Of course, she was commenting earlier about she thinks in some ways I was maybe more relaxed as an actor, that my performance ended up being a little more relaxed because I had so many other things to be thinking about. Because I will say, as an actor, I think that's my biggest threat as an actor, is just overthinking things, getting in my head, getting in my own way. I'm sure a lot of actors will say that. And so I just didn't have the bandwidth for that, and I had been so close to this material for so long. And frankly, as different as this movie is for me, as unexpected as it is in a lot of ways, both as an actor and a director, the character of Kevin is actually very much in my wheelhouse. I've played that type of character before. So I kind of never had any questions. For me, it was really straightforward, the Kevin role. And I think because I had all these other things going on, I think I did end up being a bit more relaxed and confident when it came to that performance. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, that is one of my favorite scenes as well. Let me start by giving you a little context and sort of that. That was we shot this in August, September in Northern Ontario, and for the most part, we got so lucky. A lot of challenges on this movie, but we got so lucky with weather throughout the shoot. But that night, of course, it was a night shoot, like most of our days were night shoots. But that night, it got so cold. There were actually it snow flurried, and even when it wasn't flurrying, it was drizzling, cold. It was really, really cold that night, and that group of actors, they're you see the wardrobe that they're in. It's not much, and we had to put them in the water. Megan as well. She later, pops out of the water, and so it was not easy to begin with for all of them. I'm in a boat that's adjacent to them, kind of a follow boat, and I'm watching on the monitor, and I thought that scene had the potential to be one of the funniest in the movie, but I knew it was going to come down to. I sort of always felt like it needed to. Part of it was the build up, and then the timing of the back and forth with the actors. I felt like it, and so performance wise, I kept trying to get the actors to sort of, start here and then work their way up, and then also sort of kind of be on top of each other with this whole back and forth. I felt like that was going to be the most effective way to shoot the scene. But it's also hard because when you're filming, you got to be careful of overlaps and, depending on what the shot is. And so So actually, in the edit was where we really, I think, brought out the comedy of that scene because we were able to play with the timing. I really worked on having their lines come right on top of each other so that it's this quick boom, 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 boom as it's getting bigger, ending with that button, and then the sort of the big. It's like there's like the big laugh kind of comes after that. It's almost like it's a rhythm thing as well, in addition to their really, really funny performances. Also, my favorite line in the movie, which is we added it in ADR, one of my favorite lines, is the brothers and Megan are on the boat and they're trying to dump the body. Oh no, 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 sorry, this is before. Oh, before they kill him, when the when the guy's phone dies, and he's told you to bring my charger. Told you to bring my charger, and it's an ADR line that we threw in after the fact. We had him record. Charger, where to bring my charger, bro? We're on a fucking boat, bro. I don't know. To me, that's one of my favorite lines, just kind of a throwaway, but I laugh at it every single time. Collectively, there's a lot of stuff that I picked up, probably, without even realizing it, I'm sure. But some more obvious things that I could point to, with certainty. The Whites brothers on the American Pie, on the first American Pie. Uh, I noticed that they were really, really good about soliciting help from everybody else. They had been writing a long time. They're such smart guys. They had a vision for the movie. I felt in control, the whole time. But there was something about them also, in a way, almost knowing their limitations at that point, and reaching out and letting people help where they needed it. Knowing that there was someone who knew more about lighting than them, knowing that there was someone who, instead of coming in and saying, we got this, fake it till you make it, we got this, just really going, you know what, we don't know this, but someone here does, trusting the actors, trusting your crew, and so as a first time filmmaker, I came in just going, I don't know, I have a lot to learn, but help me learn it, and I trust you guys, and I'll obviously I'll go with my instinct when I'm making decisions, but I want you guys to tell me what you think and inform me. So that was something I've always remembered. And I've worked with a few first-time directors, and that's always something that the best ones I feel like are very smart about saying, I don't know everything, so I need to trust you guys. I really fell in love with doing one shot, a oneer, doing a long oneer. Woody does a ton of them. Darius in particular likes doing them. And I knew that my DP actually had done a movie that was basically like a handful of shots, like long sequences that were all oneers. And it was part of the reason I wanted him. And we only did one oneer. It was a mandate I had. The movie didn't really, you read the script, there's not a lot of opportunity for it, but there was one sequence that we both agreed on where it needed to be. And so I was very excited about that. So working with, Darius and Woody and falling in love with oneers, I was very excited to bring that here and attempt that. Because it's so, also from a performance standpoint, it's so theatrical, you get this one shot, and then from a filmmaking, the technical side, it's such a choreography with the actors and everyone needs to come together to make this one shot work. And I just love that. Yeah. Megan Rath. Uh, she really is incredible. She's also just off camera, so I kind of am getting with a knife pointed at me. I love Robin Williams. Love, love, love Robin Williams. I feel like he's, a guy you just kind of roll the camera with. Not a whole lot to, just make sure you just film it, just get it. Uh, I imagine with him. I love Tom Hanks. One of my favorite movies of all time is Big. And so I've always loved him. It sounds like a cliched answer though. Who else? Who's good? If you had three, who would you answer for this? Come on, who would you say? This is hard. This is so hard. I mean, Meryl Streep obviously is like one of my all-time favorites. She's just absolutely incredible. Um, yeah, she's so good. Saoirse Ronan, I love her. She's amazing. Also think Margot Robbie's incredible. I, Tanya, which is a movie that I watched quite a bit in preparation for this movie, just because tonally I felt like, yeah, I love her. I think she's brilliant, and can do so much. She will win an Oscar one day. Casting is very difficult. I certainly learned that in this process. It is very difficult, and it's the tone of a movie can change immediately depending on who you cast in a role. You hear all the time these stories about, oh, so and so was actually offered before this guy did it, this famous role, and you go, what? That would have been such a different movie. American Pie was originally my role was originally offered to Jonathan Taylor Thomas, who I love, who's a great dude. I don't mean this as a thing. It's just like it would have been a totally different movie. And so I got so lucky with my cast, like so lucky. The right people for the right roles, Megan especially. I got really, really lucky. So, yeah, I don't know. I just hope I get another chance to direct. I'll be honest with you, like people complain about junkets and press and stuff, and yeah, it can be tiring to sort of answer the same questions over again and monotonous, what have you. But like, I love it. I love doing press, especially if it's a movie I'm proud of, especially if it's with a co-star, someone that I love working with, answering questions with. Like I was doing most of this today with Megan. We had a blast, I think. Maybe she'll say something different. But I also realize that like this is, I don't know. I've also gone stretches without having movies come out, and guess what? You're not doing press junkets, and you're sitting at home. And I've checked into the Four Seasons in LA because I just happen to be in LA, and there's 4 press junkets going on of movies that I am not in. And guess where I want to be? Doing a fucking press junket, like. So I appreciate so much in a way that maybe some other people don't. I don't know. I will say perhaps a necessary evil in casting. You sort of objectify people a little bit, simply because of like you go, oh, I want to hire the role calls for this kind of person, and obviously I think people have maybe taken it to extremes. I'm not saying I do have done that, but there are obviously times when you're trying to cast a specific type of role, whether it's an ethnicity or whatever, and so you have to, I guess maybe objectify isn't the right word, but sort of, it's the only job in the world where you can not hire someone because of how they look. And so it's a very weird kind of thing, I guess. I don't know if that's counts, but yeah, I don't know. I love what I do so much, and I've spent most of my life not being able to do what I love. That's sort of the nature of my industry, and I've been very busy at times in my career, and I've also been very not busy at times in my career. And so I love and appreciate all of it, like genuinely. And I've been stressed out. There were days on set where we were just absolutely brutal. But it was never lost on me that I was directing a movie.